All right, guys, welcome back to the Blaze Your Trail podcast. I'm here today with Mr. Brody Love, also known as Brody Built via YouTube and Instagram.
Hello. How's it going?
So today we're going to be talking about trucks and outdoors and off-roading, bud.
Cool. Awesome. Sounds like a plan.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into the questions here. So we're going to start with tell us about yourself.
Cool. Awesome. Well, as you guys know already, I'm Brody. Instagram and YouTube at Brody Built. Had a lot of cars back in my time, and currently right now have the 2007 Toyota FJ, long travel and all that good stuff on there. And then I also do have a 2020 Jeep Gladiator for sale. I have a 2020 Jeep Gladiator, which is also for sale. So if you're interested, let me know. But yeah, no, two great cars. Had a lot of fun with both of them. I guess next question is, why do you choose your vehicles? The FJ has been kind of one of those things I've just had for a long time. I mean, it's been mine since basically high school, and it's kind of been one of those things where I've just slowly built it into what it is today, and I really enjoy that car. So it's kind of sentimental value on that one, and that's going to be the one that I'll keep probably permanently forever.
Yeah.
Yep. The Jeep Gladiator was a very impulse purchase, and it was one of those things where I had a 2011 Ford Raptor, had 170,000 miles on it, and it was beat up. It was
Well, tell us why it was beat up. How was that truck built, buddy?
So this truck was built 2000, bought it used. I'll give it that. It was built by RPG out in California, and it was basically built as their chase truck for a few years out in Mexico. It did run as a chase truck in Baja, as I said, and from me and the previous owner, it had seen better days. So she got used. So
yeah, even still, it was your road trip truck over the FJ.
Oh yeah, 100%. The FJ basically probably got 5,000 miles put on it in the few years I owned the Raptor, and it basically came down to the point of which one am I gonna fix? My FJ was damaged, and so was Raptor as well. So it basically was which one is gonna be sold, and the got a good deal on a 2020 Gladiator, so kind of went with that, and it was fun for the year I've had it. Well, 8-9 months I've had it actually.
It's been less than that.
Yeah. But it some people are gonna hate me for this. Just not a Jeep guy.
Yeah, neither am I, man. I've worked on a lot of them. I've built a lot of them.
Yeah.
When I worked at shops in Florida, Jeeps are very popular in Florida, man. It's a cool vehicle to take out, into the sand and stuff, and they're good. They have their place. It's definitely, the competitive off-road product, but for me, it's just never been my vehicle either, so I definitely understand that.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, there's nothing wrong with this. I know Gladiator platforms are kind of hit or miss on if people like them or not.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I mean, out of all the vehicles I've owned, it's probably the best off-roading vehicle I've had. I mean, from the Toyotas to Jeep TJs to the Raptor to a Tacoma, it handles everything you throw at it, so...
Yeah, just ease of off-roading.
Exactly.
Like it just feels like it doesn't really bother it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for the most part. It's just...
Well, it's also not stock, though.
Oh, 100%. It's, it's got a 3-inch... It's basically a Pro 4X kit. It's basically what they call it, or the Pro X kit.
Okay.
And it's a triangulated 4-link bolt-on offered by Rock Crawler, which is actually really neat. But that, as well as 37-inch tires, re-geared, a bunch of other goodies on it, bed rack, rooftop tent, all that kind of stuff. But... yeah, it's handled everything. It's a great truck. Time to move on to what I really wanted and the real toy that I wanted to get rid of the Raptor for. But that'll be a little more further down the road than right now. So,
are we not going to spill the beans on that?
Yeah, we can spill it. It's going to be 8 months down the road anyways. I ordered a 2022 Ford Bronco Wildtrak right before the Raptors came out. So it's kind of one of those things where I was like, well, I'll complete my order and just kind of let it be and get it delivered and all that. So that will be here. First reports, we're going to say my order should be here around June.
Yeah.
But more likely looking at end of the year towards December. So that will be the new daily driver. Not going to be as aggressive of a build, starting out at least. Going to be working on my FJ mainly, and then we'll see how that goes. So that's the new plan.
Yeah, dude, I was looking at, so I follow Palm Beach Dyno down in Florida, right? Because they're who I'm going to have tune my truck when I do the turbos on it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I'm going to install the turbos in Florida and then take it right to them and have them dyno tune it. I don't know if I'm going to have them remote tune it. I'd like to have them dyno tune it, but then I'd have to do all that work down there at my parents' house, and it's just not as well set up as here. But I've been following along with them, and they've been tuning the new Broncos.
Nice.
Dude, they're getting like 100 foot-pounds of torque and
really?
70 horsepower out of those motors, out of the 2.7. They have currently the fastest Bronco on the market.
Really?
Like 0 to 60 in quarter mile.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Is that the stock motor, or they replaced it?
Nope.
Really?
Stock.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. Dude, Fords are really good about getting a lot of power out of them.
Definitely.
Be it, well, I guess I should say, like, the new Fords are in terms of, well, I guess all the modular motors always have been.
Yeah.
Like, even, what's that sleeper that Cletus has right now that he's giving away? The Marauder or whatever. They throw a turbo on that thing, and it's running like 9s.
Gotcha.
And it's like, so Ford modular motors, the V8s have always made a ton of power. The Coyote's no exception to that. And then all their EcoBoost motors, you can just get so much power out of that little turbo motor.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, which one did you get, the 2.7 or the 2.3?
Yeah, it's going to be the 2.7. It's going to be everything loaded on that one, Sasquatch with their tech packages, Lux packages. Yeah. It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, if I'm going to order one, might as well order one with everything. So
I want a manual transmission one, and they announced, or they said that, I guess that they're going to be offering the manual transmission with the larger motor in coming years.
Oh, really?
But not right now.
Gotcha.
And so I'll probably wait a couple years before I buy one, because I want the bigger motor with.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, no, it's definitely a. Dude, I've driven a few of them. They're so nice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And even the smaller motor, it was way fast, and it was on 35s when I drove, and it's way faster than my Tacoma ever was.
Oh yeah, like, it's impressive how much power they put down to the ground. Like,
it's crazy.
It's pretty shocking.
Because we all heard they're coming out with those small motors, and we were all so disappointed.
Oh, I know. Everyone was complaining about it's not a real Raptor if it doesn't have a Bronco if it doesn't have a
both
V8.
stories though. Both stories.
Yeah.
It's not a real Bronco, or not a real Raptor is what we heard, but everybody was disappointed about the Bronco having a small motor.
Yeah, exactly.
So, actually, one of my clients is going to be getting a Raptor R. He's already got it set up with the dealership and everything. He's getting their single allocation. Every dealership gets one allocation of a Bronco R, supposedly, or the opportunity for one allocation.
Yeah, of course.
And he's already set up with the dealership to get it whenever they finally release it or ship it or announce it or whatever.
That's going to be very impressive. What's that price tag going to be on that?
I have no idea. I wasn't going to ask.
It's got to be at least like 150. I mean,
I don't know. He's out in Utah.
Gotcha.
Super cool dude. He bought a 40-inch Onyx 6 full laser from me.
Nice. Very cool.
I am excited to see that light bar.
I have never seen one of those bars in person.
I've seen S1 lasers, and they look like a handheld laser, like what you would have on a gun or so, like a green or red laser. It's like a 3/4 inch beam, and it looks like you're holding a lightsaber.
Huh. Very cool. That's awesome.
Like, it's just stupid bright and shines forever.
I believe it. Very cool.
They're really only good for go fast stuff. It's not something anybody would need in Colorado.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
makes sense. Cool.
All right. Speaking of Baja Designs, I see you're playing with Chinese lights now.
You know, it's one of those things where I'm all about a good deal, and that's kind of one of my big things. And it's came across a product for sale at out of all places at Walmart.
Yeah.
Basically an identical Baja Designs S2 relabeled. I forget the brand or whatever it is. But you know, it was one of those things where it was like, well, for the money, I want to see if it's worth anything. I mean, people were curious. Did a few little reviews on them, and they're an okay light. I mean, they're definitely not a Baja Designs light, but you're also getting a huge discount in price compared to the the Chinese versus the Baja Design, which you get what you pay for. So
you definitely do.
Yeah,
and really, it's kind of like I always say with lighting, especially. It really comes down to your needs, and I'm kind of in the boat that dude, those Chinese lights fade so fast. Like the lenses turn, because yours were all white lenses, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so the lenses end up like turning a nasty yellow color over time.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
They leak water, they get foggy, and so just because of the deterioration, and also liability, I've seen those things go up in smoke. I haven't really seen them burn a vehicle down, but I've definitely seen them melt and stuff.
I believe
Chinese
it.
lights.
Yeah. And
I've seen Chinese switching systems burn a vehicle down, aux beam specifically.
Oh yeah, I've heard many stories. Yep.
I've known multiple aux beam units to catch on fire and burn a vehicle down, and that's why I don't install Chinese lights or switching systems. But those, I'm kind of in the boat that I believe that somebody should, if they're going to spend $200 on lights, instead of buying a 50-inch light bar, I think it works better to go buy a set of Baja Design Squadrons.
I agree. And I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why I just wanted to see what these were about, because I mean, I know a lot of people have those questions, like what is going to be the quality of this bar? And it's like, I'd like to be that guy who can, help somebody out who's looking at options. Yeah, exactly. Like, see if they actually are garbage or not. Because I mean, yeah, everybody knows you're going to get some Baja Designs, and it's going to be a great light. But
forever,
yeah, exactly. But those people who can't afford, $250 for a set of lights, it's like, for a $40 option, kind of one of those things where just see how they are. I mean, I don't plan on running these long term. And they're not even mounted on any vehicles currently, but it's just one of those things where, yeah, why not see what they're all about?
Yeah. I have a set of S1s here that we can hook up and see which ones are brighter.
Well, those S1s will still probably outshine these duals, whatever they are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. It's all good, though. So besides trucks and off-roading, you have any other hobbies, man?
Definitely the off-roading industry and all that kind of stuff has been my main hobby. Been working on trucks for a long time. As I said, from Toyotas to Jeeps to Fords, and it's always been a great time. What else I do in my meantime? I'm into shooting. I'm into definitely going to the gym every day. But as lame as that sounds, that's basically what my life consists of right now: work, gym, and working on the trucks. So
yeah, dude. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. I started out strong going back to the gym, but I was going daily. Now I'm just going like a couple times a week. But
nothing wrong with that.
You can, from where you're sitting, you can see my gym. It's in the apartment complex.
Oh, that makes it convenient. There you go, man.
I know. Except when I get done working at 1 a.m., I don't really feel like going.
I've seen your videos, and I don't understand how you are up so late. I mean, I'm in bed by 9, and I'm like, that's where I'm like, I don't know how he's up till 1, waking up at 5 a.m. to do more work. And I'm like, man, I'm impressed. I don't know. Last night, I just couldn't sleep. I worked until like 1 or 2 a.m. last night, and then ended up I forced myself to go get in bed, and I couldn't fall asleep. I was like, I just can't sleep, man. Like, if I am thinking about work or new products, and you see I have the Ford third brake light there. Yep.
You just saw, I was talking to Diode Dynamics.
Yep.
I have lights on the way from them that are going to go into the new third brake light we're designing. I've got all these products laying all over the apartment that I'm designing stuff for. And so whenever my mind's racing like that, dude, I just can't turn it off. So I end up staying up late, and the only way I was able to go to bed was to go to the gym first.
Oh, yeah. I get you, man.
Out.
I mean, pros and cons of owning your own business. I mean, I get it. It's hard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's awesome that you're doing it.
Oh, it's fun. I enjoy it.
For sure.
I like not having a boss.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
I'm still waiting on you to quit your job and start your own company too, man.
If I could find my my niche, that I would definitely do it. I just don't know exactly what that'll be. I mean,
just open a shop.
I mean, I've been a lot of different mechanics. I've been I've been a Land Cruiser mechanic, Mini Cooper mechanic. Currently, I'm a mechanic for the Air Force, and do a lot of different things. So, it might be time just to go ahead and pull the trigger and grab a building and start doing some, off-roading or whatever.
That was a loud notification. Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm so split on whether or not I ever want to own a shop that's like open to the public for work. I really think I want to do product design, development, and manufacturing.
Oh yeah, no, I understand, because I mean, it's one of those things where what's more fun, working on someone else's toys or your own toys?
It's true.
That's the problem. It's like, if I could find the opportunity to work on my own trucks and get paid for it, I'll gladly do that. But
I wish I could, dude. You see my truck; it's still sitting out there stock,
with all your Raptor parts sitting around and getting ready to get her installed. And I get it. I totally get it.
It'll all get installed right before the trip.
That's my dilemma as well. I've got that Curry axle back at the house that needs to get installed in the FJ, but right now it's my daily because the Jeep's for sale. So cutting off the back end and fabbing that all up is kind of not an option. Yeah,
it's not. It's definitely not. It's not a good idea.
It could be a real long weekend.
Yeah. So you mentioned. So you had the FJ since high school. You said, right?
Yep.
Okay. So how long have you been off-roading?
Man, I've been off-roading since I was young. I mean,
yeah,
we've always been up in the mountains, whether it was ATVs, Jeeping, any of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, really been in the off-road community most of my life. So, young age. And it's been great. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to anything in it, from ATVs to UTVs to Razors and all that, to the full-blown Jeeps, and then to the far end of the spectrum and going into that Baja high-speed off-roading aspect and
That's
the Raptors. And oh yeah, for sure. It's just kind of hard to do that out here in Colorado, where the opportunities to take out trucks that are built that way. I mean, like, you knew my Raptor. I had RPG's long travel front and rear, and I had a 100-inch wheelbase up front. It was hard to get that thing around on trails, and that's such a long truck anyways. You're bottoming out on anything you take it on.
Yeah, especially being long travel, because it's really not any higher than stock.
Yep.
It's just bigger tires.
Yep. And I mean, with the drop brackets in the rear, realistically, it might have been a low, or maybe an inch lower in the rear compared to a stock Raptor. I mean, it was on 37, so it probably compensated for that. But
yeah, it's really the tires that give you the clearance on those trucks.
Exactly.
Long travel, and that's a common misconception. Like, or at least to people new into the industry, long travel is not a lift kit.
Yep.
And it will act as one.
Exactly. Yep.
Or it can act as one. Mid travel definitely acts as a lift kit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're using factory lowers, but when you're using extended lower control arms, you see they always have that aggressive bend in them. They're not just straight 45 degrees down, or 30, or whatever it would sit at. They don't sit at a straight down angle like a factory one does. So they definitely sit at about ride height, and you just get a ton of up and down travel on those things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I mean, it's different for every vehicle. I mean, your Toyota long travel is going to be highly different compared to your Raptor long travel or whatever. And it was one of those things where basically each corner of the Raptor was about $6,000 if I were to go ahead and break stuff or whatever it was between the shocks, control arms. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, my FJ has long travel as well. It's a 3-inch also, or 3.5, sorry. But it's a lot cheaper to break your FJ compared to a lot of these, I guess, whatever you say, high performance trucks. I say that in quotations. Just, it's, Raptors get a bad name, associated with them, because you get those people who buy them stock and don't do anything with it. And it's kind of one of those things where that's kind of what you get with the Raptor community. It's hard to find those people who actually
have one or the other with Raptor.
Exactly.
There's like 3 classes of Raptor guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have the guys who buy it stock and daily drive it as a normal pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
You have the guys who buy it stock, leave it stock, and thrash the absolute crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my buddy Garrett, who just blew his coilover apart in Mexico so bad that it, I guess, damaged or destroyed his SVC billet upper control arm.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he launches that thing. There's pictures of him 4.5 feet off the ground.
That's crazy.
And
wow.
A stock Raptor. That's that white one that. We jumped.
The second gen. Yeah. That was a good night.
I told him we jumped it.
Okay, good. Make sure he doesn't find out right now.
No, I told him. He told me to. I joked with him. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna jump it," and he's like, "Go ahead. I don't care. I jump it all the time."
Which was very impressive. You really didn't think he was going to do it?
No, it was fine. It was super smooth, man.
Oh, it was great. It landed perfect. I mean, those trucks are built to handle that stuff.
It was. We probably only got like a foot off the ground, but it was quick acceleration, popped right over, landed smooth, just like it should have.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, I know I'll get a lot of hate for this one. That's the reason why I dig those EcoBoosts, man. I mean, I know everyone talked about, it's not a Raptor if it doesn't have a V8.
I really don't care.
I
just
care
want
either.
Power,
exactly.
and they've got it.
Exactly. They're doing so much with these V6s these days. It's like, why even complain about it?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you can get. Dude, the only reason that I got the Coyote is because I want to break the 4-figure number. I want to be in the, over 1,000 horsepower.
And that motor should guarantee you to get to those numbers.
Yeah, it's easy 1,100 at the tire. Apparently, I'm shooting for 1,200 at the tire, but we're also going to detune it back to like 800.
Nice.
Just so I don't blow it up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the crate motor prices come down. You can go, there's companies, building crate motors for Ford and stuff, and you can go get one of those Coyote motors for like $8,000 now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they used to be a lot more. They used to be like $18,000.
Huh. Wow. That's very impressive, actually. I didn't realize they were that cheap now.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to be your daily as well? Or are you going to wait until you have a new daily?
I'm buying a new truck before the Bronco.
I thought which one is that? The Ring? Or should we not say that on the air?
No. Which one are you thinking?
Because you were told me you were getting a Ranger at some point.
I was planning on it.
Okay.
Yeah, to go to Africa with. But I've talked to Brian at Vox United, and I do want to go to Africa, but I'm not going to be building a truck for it, I don't think, just because of timeline. And I might build one for next year to go on another trip.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, when I say next year, so we're going to Africa in early 2023, like into first quarter of 2023.
Gotcha.
I might build a truck for the 2024 trip.
Okay.
But no, this truck will basically be this truck's going to go through 2 build phases with suspension. I already have a full
your current F-150.
Current F-150.
Okay.
If we go to Africa, I'll buy a Ford Ranger, build it up to take it. But that's a massive process.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I need like $30,000 cash, just like on hand, like liquid, to be able to ship it, have money for fuel, food, lodging, whatever, ship it back. Like I need a ton of money, insurance stuff. I need a ton of money on hand. And so to do that, I'm not going to be able to go to Africa next year.
Gotcha.
With my own vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I had hoped to. I could pull off building it. We have amazing sponsors. We have a lot of companies on board. But both for Brian and the Hirsch truck and me, myself, for my portion of the project.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just not something I can pull off this year.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's no point in rushing it. So
no, and it's a big trip for a lot of money. But I really, really do. I've always kind of had a heart for helping people in those ways. Mm-hmm. And so growing up, I grew up in the church and stuff, and obviously with my parents we did stuff, but like even outside of that, there was other events I volunteered for and whatnot, and organizations I've worked with over the years. And we're a sponsor of Vox United and the Hirsch Project, and donating a percentage of profits this year we'll be giving to them for that project for Africa. Awesome. But
very cool.
I think we're also going to be, I've talked to Brian, we're going to be trying to find problems closer to home. And he says this thing, he's like, anywhere you point your finger, you're going to find people who need help, right? Mm-hmm. And so same thing with water. Anywhere you point your finger, you're going to find people that need help. And so there's the Indian or Native American reservations here. Some of them have issues with water. And
gotcha.
So he's had people reach out to him. And so I might look into those. But I know that I want to look into doing water projects down in Mexico.
Very cool. Nice.
And so this truck is going to be built out for that.
Very nice. Very cool.
So the scene lighting we have, I'm going to have long travel on it, but I'm also going to have, what's the term for it? There's a term when you have airbags in the rear of a truck, but you can suck them up so they're not connected to the axle. They sit in a cup.
Okay.
And so I'll also be able to tow with it, which sounds crazy to most people who've had long travel. But when you have, sway bars on the truck and you have, I'll probably make my own like billet disconnecting sway bar setup or whatever.
Gotcha. Very cool.
But I'll have airbags in the rear to tow. So the F-150 will be my primary truck for a while. The first build phase is going to be just for this year's trips and maybe for scouting Mexico. And that's just going to be a stock Raptor setup. Nice. And so, a stock Raptor setup with, did you see I posted that live valve deal?
Yeah. So did you end up picking those up?
Well, I have live valves waiting for me in Utah, but there's a control system for those. So you can put those on an F-150 and you don't need to delete the live valve.
Really? Okay.
It's like a 1-inch round screen. It looks like a watch face.
Huh.
And you can dial it up and down to control the stiffness of the coilovers.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
And it's still live, so it'll still sense like as you're off-roading.
Very cool.
And so like when you jump the truck, it will obviously know it and stiffen up for a better landing.
Awesome.
So you don't bottom out.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds cool. Very neat. That'll be a great little build. And then like you said, it's going to be more than just a build because it's going to be functional, purpose-built for your Mexico trip you got coming up. So very neat.
Yeah. So And then to go all the way back to answer your question, the next truck I'll be getting will be a 450 King Ranch dually.
Nice. Very cool.
So.
Got to have a tow pig.
Yep.
I like it.
So this truck will go on the trailer, which I already have.
Nice.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I need to pick up someday. It's just, it's one of those things. Not in the cards right now.
They're very expensive.
Oh yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
It'll actually be purchased by the company.
Nice.
I'm still paying for it. It's still my money paying for it, but officially it'll be the Blaze off-road truck, and I'll have it wrapped as such. I'll build it in such a way that people hate it, so it'll be on like 26s with 40s.
Nice.
So
with a pink wrap.
No,
little blue and black accents.
It'll probably be orange, but it'll be a nice big street wheels.
Nice, very cool.
So rubber band mud tires, just like everybody hates.
Yeah,
man.
Why not? I mean,
I think it looks good.
It's that style. You're from Florida. It makes sense. I got nothing wrong with it.
Oh yeah.
I can't talk. I'm from Florida too. I like my 17-inch wheels. Or rims, whatever you want to say.
Wheels.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole different argument. But
it's no argument to it. It's right or wrong. It's like people over here calling magazines clips for guns.
Exactly.
Not a clip. It's
100%.
a magazine.
Yeah. I mean, it's method race wheels, not method race rims.
I don't know if anybody's really calling them rims.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people.
American Force wheels, specialty forged wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
Black Rhino wheels.
I know a lot of people who are like, what rims are those? And I'm like,
People call them that. I don't know if companies
exactly.
do.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's just.
I see it a lot.
It's too much.
I don't know why it bothers me.
It's very annoying. It's. I mean, I get it. I get the whole point of like, a spoked rim, back in the day with your low riders and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, it's just not what.
Well, that's where it comes from.
I know.
Because
exactly.
if you look at my mountain bike right here, that is a rim.
Yeah, exactly.
On the outside. The whole combination of the spokes, hub, and rim is a wheel.
Yeah.
And so it's like, do you want to buy the rim or do you want to buy the whole wheel?
Yeah. With
the hub and the spokes and everything.
But see, that's where people argue it as well. I mean, they talk about the rim of the car, where's the tire, and then the whole assembly is the wheel. And it's like,
Oh, no.
I've heard it.
Wheels and tires.
Exactly. I agree. It's just, man, people go back and forth on that one. So.
Yeah.
But very cool. That'll be awesome. It'll be good to see that F450. And I know you're a Ford guy, so it makes sense.
I don't know if I want to do a Kelderman kit or an any level lift kit on it.
Very cool. I mean, that would be neat either way.
Yeah.
So another big price tag on that.
Dude, it's so stupid. It's so expensive.
Okay, but what isn't expensive these days? I mean, honestly.
You're not wrong.
Okay, let's not backtrack, but this Bronco, I've ordered it. My price has changed 3 times.
You need to go to a different dealer.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, but.
If you ordered it with Ford, you can take your order to a different dealer.
It might be something I'll look into. Because, I mean, I got quoted originally at 58. I'm currently at 63, something like that.
My buddy has one on order, and the dealership told him they will not change the price, period.
Mine was just
he has it in writing signed.
Yeah. I'll have to look into it. Because, I mean, it's definitely one of those things where it was a estimate of price is what my little paper quote said.
So stupid.
I agree.
Well, Ford, you can also snitch on them to Ford now. Ford's starting to crack down on that.
Yeah,
they said that anybody who raises the prices ridiculous amounts beyond MSRP and all that, they said that they're going to take their allocation of Raptor Rs and Broncos. So they're not going to get any allocation. So they won't get vehicles at all.
You mean like my dealership quoting me $25,000 over sticker to order a Bronco Raptor? Not to have one already on their lot,
Correct.
Just to solely order.
Yeah.
$25,000 over sticker.
Yep.
And I was like, "You're out of your mind." I mean,
so they can, if they keep doing that, somebody's going to report them. They might lose their allocation. Then they won't be able to order one. They won't be allowed to order one at all.
I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You know what's crazy? First time in history, Ford's talking about. Okay, let me put it this way: an executive at Ford essentially seems like he accidentally told somebody that they are moving away from, or they're considering opening up factory stores.
I saw that. Yeah, getting rid of dealerships altogether.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yep.
Bro. That's what Tesla does, and it works so well. And those are the only 2 car companies in the country that have never had to take any sort of bailout.
Exactly. I mean, it should be done that way. That's how, I mean, get with the times. Dealerships are old. I mean, I'm sorry, but besides a used dealership, what's the point? If I'm going in to go buy a car and I have to order it either way, then why should I have to go through a third party?
Dude, Carvana.
Exactly.
Like, that's where used cars live now, is on tow trucks. Like, they bring them to you at no charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I wanted to look at, I think, a Ranger or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had CarMax bring it in for me from somewhere else just to look at it. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of their business is just ship cars from one dealership to another to, potentially make a sale. And so when you've got that going on, like, well, what's the point of, and this is a bad thing to say because I don't know. I mean, it might hurt the industry in some ways because now you've got people out of jobs, right?
Yeah.
But I'm all about innovation and progress.
Exactly.
And are we friends on Facebook?
Yeah, of course.
Did you see the post that I posted about the CNC stuff?
Man, I'm never on Facebook,
Me
though.
neither. I'm only on Facebook for work usually, for people who message. Actually, somebody today was like, "Oh yeah, message me on Facebook," and I was like, I'll send you. I was like, I'll send you a message on Facebook, but I'm not going to respond to yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
besides Marketplace, besides Marketplace, that's the only thing I'm on Facebook for.
I'm not even on there for that, dude. Well, I never buy anything.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm broke right
Weird.
now. Yeah, of course you don't. You never. Yeah, right. No, I don't see a real use for dealerships going forward. And like I said, that may be a bad thing to say in terms of thinking about people's jobs, but like the post I posted on Facebook about CNC work, in that example, we can compete using robots and automation with every country in the world in manufacturing, even price-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, even China, because they're having to hire people, even if they are paying them less than Nike pays to make a pair of shoes per day.
True.
We can have million square foot warehouses full of, they call them pallets. It's a giant metal chunk with mounting solutions where you mount all the vices for all your different billets that you're going to machine.
Yeah.
But you can have thousands of pallets in this massive automated warehouse with robotic, arms and conveyor belts and all this stuff. Essentially, you just need button pushers to turn the machines on and start a program.
Yeah, it's true.
You need programmers, that's actually the shirt I'm wearing. It's G and M code. It's like, it's so easy that all CNC operators have to be able to program the machine too.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you're pushing people to do better, right? So we don't want low-level manufacturing.
For sure.
We want high-end, high-output, high-quality manufacturing. And so the world moves forward and progress continues to push. And so if it's pushing in manufacturing, it's going to push in sales and distribution. We see it with Amazon. As bad and evil as that company may be, right, as people see it, innovation has to happen.
Definitely.
And if we're not going to do it domestically, somebody else is.
Exactly.
And so you see companies like Carvana selling cars, and somehow CarMax sells new cars.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I've seen cars on CarMax. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how they get them, and I think Carvana does too. Where you have a car that has like less than 100 miles on it that they're selling.
I mean,
And it's like current year.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. If they're not a dealer, I don't know how they can do that.
Unless they're personally investing in these vehicles and that's doing a slight markup.
And flipping it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's one of their things. Maybe it's a business technique that, I don't know. I don't understand it, but maybe that's an option they're looking into.
Yeah, maybe they're buying them cheap from dealerships and turning around and selling them.
Well, I mean, you look at, for example, back to the Broncos. You've got dealerships buying Broncos from other dealerships just to mark them up again.
Yeah.
I drove a 2021 Badlands with a sticker price of $99,000 because of a double $15,000 markup. So it was $30,000 total. And I'm like, why? They're like, oh, well, we're trying to get our, markup back from paying someone else's markup. And I'm like, I just don't see the business behind that. I mean, I know they're making the sale either way because the market's ridiculous right now, but
yeah, I just would never pay $30,000. Dude, I might pay a couple thousand over if I'm just super excited about if I'm just super excited about a vehicle, I might pay a couple thousand more.
Mm-hmm.
But like as in I feel like 5 is my max. Like brand new GT500 comes out, like I'm super excited about it, whatever. And so like I just want this car here and now. It's like my dream car, whatever
exactly.
it is.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I feel that more about a car, like a Ford GT or a GT 500, or I want like a Porsche 911 Turbo S one day, or Turbo R. I don't remember, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, a car like that, super
It makes
high
sense.
class,
Yeah.
fast car.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, I want it now, so I'll pay more.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'll ever pay more for an order.
Oh, yeah.
Off. If it's sitting on the
Exactly.
lot, I might, because it's here now. But I'm not waiting 6 months or 3 months or 6 weeks and paying $5,000 over. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I still think it's dumb because I don't know how it is because I haven't looked at any second-gen Raptors. I'm pretty sure they still mark them up. If they're on the lot, if they're a used car, I think they're marking them up as well.
They went down just a little bit. They were selling in the 80s, low 80s.
Well, so that was the whole thing. Yeah, they had a 2000 and I want to say 18 at my local Ford dealership as well. And the guy's like, "Oh, well, you're not going to get that less than 79 or whatever it was." And it had, I want to say, it had like 70,000 miles on it. And I'm like, that's
Jeez.
not a deal. Like, I'm
No, it's
sorry,
not.
but it was beat up. I don't know what they're thinking. And again, it's almost like they're using the whole old pandemic and all that stuff as an excuse to not have vehicles on their lot, to make people to order them, and then they just mark up anything that you order or whatever they have on the lot.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just dealing with and like I said, I don't know why my mentality is, oh, I would pay extra for a car, but somehow not for a truck. I really don't understand why that is, but I know that so like the Super Duty I want, right? The King Ranch F450.
Yeah.
Those are $99,000. That's what those cost right now. And so, same as your Bronco with the markup, which, by the way, that's the exact same markup I saw at the one of the dealerships in Florida for one, where I could have bought it then and there. It was ready to roll. But I'm not paying 50. I'm not paying 150% of the vehicle. I'm not paying 50% extra on top of the vehicle.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
And I mean, I don't know where these numbers come back into play later on down the road, but
That's hard.
I don't see used market being. I mean, okay,
You can't get finance for it, can you?
I don't know. I mean, if you go through the dealership, of course they're going to finance you for anything.
Yeah, but can they finance you that much over MSRP?
I don't know. I don't know if that's like
You can't buy a house for more than it appraises for.
But I wonder maybe they're like requiring as a cash payment on top of your finance.
That's what I think it is.
I don't know. I really don't. And it's like, I mean, yeah, you can have that cash out in hand, but it's like, who's willing
$30,000?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's willing to actually spend that kind of money for something? I mean,
they are amazing vehicles, but keep in mind a GT350 Mustang, Shelby GT350 Mustang, back in the late 60s. Is that when his first ones were? It might have been early 70s when the first Shelbys.
I'm pretty sure it was 69 Shelby.
Yeah, so the GT350s were $6,000 or something like that, and the average American made just over that a year. I don't remember what exactly. I used to know the numbers, because I used to know the numbers for the truck. A truck back then was like $3,000 or $3,500, and it could like a 18-year-old or a 20-year-old who'd been working for 2 years could essentially save to pay all of his bills and buy the truck outright.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the average income in America is the average price of one of these high-end vehicles. When I say high-end, I mean like a higher trim level. So like a GT500 Mustang is actually like 110, 120,000 is what they're going for.
Yeah.
And that's more than the average income in America, I think, is still like, what was it, 50,000 or something like that?
Well, I don't even think it's that much.
No?
I'm pretty sure it's in the low 40s.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, definitely. But no, you're right. But I mean, even besides these higher end trucks, you think about anything. You go to Toyota. I'm not sure how their market process works, but you're ordering any of the new Tundras. You're ordering any 4Runner.
We're out of touch, buddy.
In what way?
The average income.
Yeah.
You want to guess again?
Is it higher?
No.
30s.
31.
$31,000.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, think about it. You're not getting hardly any car for $31,000.
No, you're going to spend an entire year's income on a car,
which is insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, pre-tax. I mean, you think about all this stuff. Those people probably are taking home maybe 20,000 of that. If you're basically talking
The
at
manufacturer?
no, I'm talking about if you were making 31,000, if you're buying a car for 31,000.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
So I mean, you're talking like base model vehicles if you're trying to actually get anything new.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, man. Like, no, and this is the same. I think I just realized this. The reason this problem exists and why it can exist is the same exact reason that we have this whole student loan issue in this country. Like, the reason that prices of school is going up so dramatically for no reason is much more so the fact that you have to pay the loan back, dude.
Exactly.
There's no way out of it.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you can't even get out of student loans with bankruptcy, right?
I do not know on that.
I know it's federally backed, but so you end up in a situation where the government says, yeah, give them the loan. No matter what, you'll get paid back.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, well, we're just going to charge them more then. We're always going to get paid back no matter what.
Exactly.
And so it's the same thing with cars. It's like, oh, you can finance a car for 8 or 10 years now.
Yeah.
And so it's like, even if it's 5, 6, or 7, like,
Yeah.
oh, I can afford much more now.
Exactly.
And so you're in this position where they're like, well, people can afford more. Why don't we just make something that costs more?
Well, and then on top of that, no one's looking at the total price after interest and all that. I mean,
Oh, it's a lot.
extending that. Oh my gosh, these banks are
Bro.
making bank. I mean, literally.
Yeah. When I was in like, a few years ago, I bought my Mazda 6.
Okay.
I was like, I had been working for myself for a little bit as a diesel mechanic doing stuff like on the side kind of. I don't know why I'm yawning. But no, I had a terrible interest rate on that car, and it was just like I didn't have a choice. I just blew up my motor. I was working, and I didn't have time to go buy a junkyard motor and swap it. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just buy a new car. And it was like one of the only ones I could get financed for that I was like okay with getting. And it was only a few years old at the time. It was like 5 or 6 years old. It was like a 2012 Mazda 6 or something like that. And so I was like, all right, cool. And so I just bought that 4-door sedan to drive around. But it actually did great. I put 100,000 miles on that car in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I never had to replace anything except the AC clutch. I didn't even do the whole compressor.
That's impressive.
I just did the clutch.
That's crazy.
Not even the whole compressor. And I drove that car like I drive my trucks, dude. Like pulling the handbrake, sliding around corners.
That's hilarious.
Like, I'm pretty sure we jumped it a few times off road. It did good.
So there you go. Buy a Mazda. Have you got anything out of that?
No, for real though. Like, those are great, super reliable cars.
Very cool.
Like they're awesome. My little sister has one too.
Nice. Very cool.
So, but no, my interest rate is kind of embarrassing. It was you want to guess what it was?
Was it over 10?
You know what the highest interest rate they can give you
I
is?
have no idea.
There's like a legal limit to how high they can give you.
Really?
It's 24%.
Holy crap.
It was only on like $6,000.
So what was your interest rate?
It was 24%.
Oh, yours was the 24. Holy cow,
Yeah.
man. Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. I was young, whatever. And I was like, well, I know what I'm doing to myself. I know I'm screwing myself. But it was a $6,000 car that would have ended up costing like $19,000 after the entire thing was done, which I got rid of it. I built my credit, came up with money, traded it in. I was fine.
Definitely. Gotcha.
But yeah, that's
insane.
So yeah, you're saying, people don't know what they actually pay, and there you go. That's a massive interest rate, but on $6,000, it's not 24% of that. It's 24% would be just over, just under $1,500.
Yeah.
And so it's not that. It's
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the whole algorithm, whatever it is. It's per year, whatever it is. I don't know, but it's
APR, annual percentage rate.
Yep, exactly. Crazy, insane.
Yeah.
I feel a lot less bad about my interest rate of having my Gladiator currently after hearing that.
Mine on this truck is like 2%.
Okay.
Or
yeah,
2.5%.
yeah.
Or
Mine's
something
3,
like that.
so
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole reason. I mean, I got out of I only owed a few grand on my Raptor still, but yeah, I got a better interest rate. Was paying just a little bit more per month for basically a brand new vehicle. So
was yours? Was it brand new or was it a year old?
It was 1 year old. It had 8,000 miles on it.
That's like my F-150 was 1 year old with 10,000.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, you're going to pay a little bit less, and I mean, yeah, I just don't see the only reason why I'm doing this Bronco in the first place is just the opportunity. It's one of those things where,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of buying new. It just happens to be what I want right now. So why not?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have I would like one, but for the business, I think the priority is going to be to get a Super Duty first, and then I'll get a gooseneck or something like that, and then I'll get the Bronco afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong at all. I mean, there's no rush. You're not going to get it anytime soon anyways.
Yeah,
which
no joke.
I did see an article that apparently they are stopping 2022 allocations sometime in the beginning of March here, just to kind of catch up on their stock. I mean, mine has been 3 months out or whatever it is now, and I'm still looking at maybe a year. I mean, I don't know.
They didn't expect it to be this big.
Well, the chip shortage again, the new one or most recent one, and they have all those Broncos just literally sitting in lots up in Detroit. I mean,
well, same with Super Duties. Super Duties have been. They took the push to start, or not push to start. The what's the auto start stop out of the new Raptor because they couldn't come up with the chips.
Really?
they're like, we understand that our Raptor clients don't want this anyways, so we're not going to ship it with it.
That's pretty convenient, actually.
Yeah, I wish I could take it out of my truck.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to ask Palm Beach Dyno if they can turn it off.
It can be tuned out. I've heard that it can be tuned off, and
I don't like our government.
Okay. Yes.
So, I'm gonna have a check engine light with my tune.
Really?
They said they can turn it off,
okay.
But then they risk that $100,000 fine.
Really?
Yeah. From the EPA.
I didn't know that because I had my Scion FRS 2013, which that was completely tuned and all that stuff, and they tuned all the check engine lights out of it.
So this is like as of last year.
Okay.
He said
very recent.
They're not risking it right now.
I wonder why. Wonder what changed in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Well, Congress has been fighting to get rid of aftermarket modifications, a multi-billion-dollar industry for years. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and say something about that. This whole RPM Act is complete bullshit.
Okay. Explain. Give me this RPM Act.
Yeah, we try not to curse on this podcast too much. But essentially, it's one of the worst acts ever presented to Congress, and it apparently marginally got pushed aside for now. It's been pushed aside 2 or 3 times now, and they keep trying to reintroduce it. And you can guess who keeps trying to introduce it, which side that is. But regardless of that, it is essentially going to eliminate all aftermarket modifications to every single vehicle on the road. That sounds dramatic and unbelievable, but the verbiage is in the bill to allow them to be that strict.
Well, I mean, look at California.
That means no tuning. Mm-hmm. Essentially, you get to the point where it eventually means, if they keep pushing it, expanding it, and growing on it or whatever, it's setting precedent, right? And so you look at the point, you look down the road, and it'll get to the point where there's no lift kits, no bumpers, no winches, no aftermarket lighting, no tuning, no exhaust, no turbos, no nothing. Vehicle comes as it is, and that's it. And I had a buddy who was in the military, and he was stationed in Germany. I believe it was Germany, and he was allowed to do 0 external aftermarket modification to his truck while it was over there.
I believe it.
He had to run stock. They would not install bigger tires than what came stock.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know how. I forget exactly which law it is here in Colorado. Technically, any modification to suspension here is illegal.
Yeah.
It's not enforced, but...
Well, same with Florida. Florida, we have hood stacks with black smoke. Well, also, I want to say, tuning a diesel to have black smoke coming out of the exhaust is a very immature thing that is not done by most adults. The reason I say that is because it is very, very bad for your injectors, your fuel system, your turbos, especially your turbo. Because unlike gasoline runs hot when it's lean, right? Mm-hmm. And it runs a lot of power. Diesel runs hot when it's rich. So all that black smoke, and this is stuff the Diesel brothers dealt with. When they would tune a vehicle, it wasn't putting out black smoke. Yeah. Pila Motorsports in Florida, when they would tune a vehicle, it wasn't putting out black smoke. They got hit with like $100,000 fine, and then another one that was like, I think it was like $250,000 or $500,000 or something like that.
The Diesel Bros, yeah, it was something crazy.
No, I'm talking about Pila Motorsports
really?
in Florida.
Okay.
Diesel Brothers had a whole other thing with a lawsuit and stuff.
Yeah.
But, so, people think of diesels as this nasty, dirty thing. It's not. Those airplanes that we fly around, jet engines, which also burn essentially what is a diesel fuel. It's just a high compression, more refined fuel.
Yeah.
You can run jet fuel in a diesel and you'll never notice that there's a difference.
Yeah.
You can run diesel in a jet engine and you'll never notice there's a difference except power difference.
Gotcha,
and
makes
can't
sense.
and you can't run it at altitude. And it doesn't fully burn it, so you have soot.
Gotcha.
But it's just a little dirtier than jet fuel. But like jet engines use a stupid amount of fuel. We're talking thousands of gallons for one jet to run a couple flights a day.
Mm-hmm.
Ships, and I think it's JH Diesel down in Florida. They have he has an amazing rant video on this where he's giving all the facts. But it's like the top 7 or 10 shipping ships, in the world use more fuel and put out more emissions than every single automobile in the world combined.
That's insane.
And they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't give two licks about that.
Yeah.
But they're going to try and shut down. We were just talking about this, the Raptors. How many stock Raptors are there compared to tuned or built Raptors? What, 1 in 25 gets modifications?
Yeah, exactly.
1 in 100 gets a good tune.
Yeah.
And 1 in 2,000 gets turbos or an exhaust.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's like you're talking about such a tiny percentage. There's a few hundred million vehicles on the road in America.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Of those few 100 million, you have 100,000 total that are aftermarket modified.
Yeah, I mean, look at your drive, home any day. You're going to see 90% of your cars are just standard base model, not really base model, but just unmodified vehicles. And then, you get a handful of tuners, lifted trucks, whatever it could be. But yeah, I mean, the percentage is low. But you're also saying, like, these are the people who also think that electric cars are perfectly clean when they don't look at where's electricity coming from?
Yeah.
Where are my lithium batteries coming from?
That's a bad one, man. We need to solve that.
It's there's statistics that there's not enough lithium to actually produce, produce cars for every person or whatever it might be.
I don't know. Ford sells, on 2019, they sold almost 900,000 F-150s alone.
Yeah.
That's the only statistic I know.
Well, there you go. That's all we needed.
900,000 of one vehicle, and it's been the top-selling vehicle for 50-something years now.
Yeah.
Or top-selling truck in America for 50 years.
Well, I mean, not to change the subject, but think about what you get price point-wise. I mean, your truck was what, 40s, correct?
It was 62 new.
Okay, so 62 new, but
I
fully
bought it for
loaded.
45.
A year over 45, which is insane. But yeah, you're getting a lot of truck for the money. I mean, it's something that's going to do everything you want it to do. Compared to, we can talk about small class trucks, which you have a nice handle on the Tacomas.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a really functional vehicle. I mean, the F-150s. I mean, even mine was a Raptor, it did everything I ever wanted to do. Tow, haul, whatever I want. It's got plenty of room. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a great truck.
I still want to race your buddy's Raptor.
You should. That thing is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he's naturally aspirated. I want to say that, it's not Texas racing, whatever it is. I forget his block, but it's a, what did I say?
I know somebody else who knows him.
I mean, he's big down in my end of town, but he's not very well known across most of the Raptor community.
Down there. He has a Raptor.
Yeah.
It's the one I was wiring up recently.
Nice, very cool. But yeah, no, definitely would love to see the difference in speed between the two. I mean, that's
dude, that new 5.0 rips.
I mean, it's a 10-year-old difference between your two vehicles. Yours is 21, correct?
And his motor is not 10 years old, we should also say. It's pretty fresh.
Yeah. The whole truck is fresh. He just got a brand new frame. I mean, honestly, it's basically a brand new, I think his is a 14, so it's basically a brand new 2014 Raptor. So.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to see I'm curious how many trucks Toyota sells every year. There's no oh, there it is. All right. So so Toyota sold 248,000 or 238,000, and Ford sold 800 and something thousand.
And is that for Tundras then, or
this is Tacomas?
Tacomas, gotcha.
Tundras probably sell less.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't see a whole lot of Tundras out on the road.
Not here. You see a lot of them in other states.
Well, I mean, Texas, they're I
Oh,
believe the
yeah.
plant is still down there. I mean, they were built in Texas for quite a while.
Yeah, actually, I think that's where they're building the new Tundras. The Tacomas are only made in Mexico now, is my
Really?
understanding. Mine was made in Texas. Yeehaw.
Huh. I
Mine-
have no idea where. I think mine was Canadian or something. I don't even
No,
know.
no. It would have been U.S. or Mexico.
Well, then it was probably one of those two.
That's a fair bet.
Yeah, I'm going to put money on it.
Yeah. All right. So, was there anything we missed in that conversation? I felt like there was something we needed to come back to. Oh no, that was it. That covers it. The number of vehicles sold, the chip shortage with
Yeah,
Ford.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the Ford having that problem kind of makes sense. They're selling almost, if you include all F-Series trucks, they're selling well over 1 million a year.
Yeah, I
And
believe it.
so, as compared to other manufacturers selling a quarter of that or half of that, and
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, I could see them having problems with the chip shortage, not
Yeah.
being able to get that many of
Yeah.
them.
Well, look at GM. I saw an article that said that like they can't offer heated seats right now currently just because of whatever chip was required for that process.
Wow. Yeah, everything's computerized now, so
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
everything requires chips.
Which let's get off of chips for a little bit. Let's just talk about your products, off-roading. I mean, let's go to your kind of bread and butter. I mean, I know it's electronics, but I mean, you're offering a lot of stuff out here with your new S-Pod or your what do you call it, Switch Pros and all that good stuff. You've been making a lot of progress, man.
Yeah.
Been
Yeah,
busy.
I have a lot going on. I should have showed you the CAD file for I'm sure you saw it on my Instagram, but for the new Ford bracket.
Yeah, I saw it. Yep,
Yeah.
that looked really nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be for Garmin power switches on the Ford. And so on my truck, I'm going to run well, some of this isn't set in stone yet, but this is the plan right now. I'm going to run 2 under the hood.
Nice.
Well, the bracket's for 2. I'm going to run 1 under the hood, though, for now.
Nice.
I'm going to make a bracket for the back. I'm going to have Evo Manufacturing make me a roof bar
Gotcha.
for the new SS5s from Diode Dynamics.
Nice.
SS5 Pros. And so I'll run those on the roof. And that Garmin system, dude, that Garmin unit's so small and it needs so little.
Yeah.
And it's all wireless. I literally just have to run a 6-gauge cable up the windshield under a wire hider with a small ground cable.
Yeah.
And then I have to run another ground cable for a little ground bar. And I'll basically just build a little box to put that in on the back of that
Nice.
light
Very
bar
cool.
on the roof, like
That's
I
gonna
have
be
in
awesome.
my Tacoma.
Yeah.
And then cause it's gonna have the supports, like the Heim joints.
Yep.
Heim joint supports.
Yep.
I freaking love those things.
That thing is amazing setup. Yep.
I love it. It's so sick. And so I think we're gonna have 9 of them across the roof because they're a little bit smaller than LP6s.
That's crazy. Wow. That's gonna be a lot of light.
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid bright. And so, yeah, we're gonna run. It's gonna take all 6 circuits to run it with the backlighting.
Makes sense.
And
yeah.
so we're gonna put one of those on the roof, the Garmin unit.
So you're gonna actually put the unit itself.
I'm gonna build a little box on the back of the
Really?
light bar behind the
Very
lights,
cool.
and so I'll have it mounted there. And
Nice.
To be fair, it's also gonna run 1 set of SSC2s,
Nice.
for the 2 LEDs, off the side, one shooting straight left 90 degrees from the truck, and one to the right.
Very
Because
cool.
I'm not gonna have ditch lights on the
Yeah,
truck.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are great Garmin units, and that's probably what I'm going to end up running.
Yeah.
As we mentioned already, we kind of talked about how I want to use that Overland tablet offered by Garmin and get the whole kind of setup, which you do sell the Garmins on your website, correct?
They're not on the website yet. I actually just today found out that they're gonna accept me, or it's looking like they're gonna accept me as a dealer.
Very cool. Well, I hope that all works out because that'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited about that, actually. I'm going to be a stocking dealer for Garmin, so I'm going to keep those things in stock.
Awesome. Very cool. That's great.
I love those units.
I know you've been, talking them up and all that stuff, and you've been
And I wasn't even a dealer for them.
yeah, I
I
know.
was sending people elsewhere to buy them.
That's crazy. That's
It
insane.
was a very bad business
Because
decision.
you're a dealer for?
Switch Pros.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a lot of money. Make a lot more money on those than I do at Garmin.
Well, the Garmins are cheaper, correct?
Yeah, they're significantly cheaper.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're talking them up, and they're a great unit. So it's like it's a very
Dude,
competitive option.
that Garmin setup right there for the Tacoma, it's $500 for the Garmin. It's like $80 for the bracket. You're looking at like, I don't know. Let's see. You're looking at like $630, $640.
Yeah.
For everything. $650 with battery cables.
That's
That's
insane.
$200 cheaper than the Switch Pro setup.
Yeah, that's great.
And you can take another one of those units, mount it in the bed of your truck to run your chase lights, your rock lights, your brake lights, all that stuff. if
Which
you
is
want.
insane. Yeah.
Your backup lights.
That's very cool.
It has 2 input triggers, so you can tie it into your backup light system. That
Nice.
thing will fit. Actually, I just thought of this. That thing would fit behind the third brake light. Actually, that's where I'm going to mount mine.
That's not a bad idea at all. I mean, if it'll fit up in there, that'd be great.
Yeah, or not my third brake light, sorry. My brake light, like my tail light.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'll pop my tail light out, and it'll fit right there. And then I can just I'll run my rock lights back there instead of up under the hood. I'll run my chase lights and my reverse lights off that.
So now what comes with that unit? I mean, is it just the little box, or is there
Yeah, that's
actually... So now what are you actually controlling your lighting choices with? I mean, is it like Bluetooth or...
So you're going to control it with your phone, a Garmin tablet, or like an Android tablet.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Gotcha.
just
Very
download
cool.
the Garmin app.
Yeah, and that's what is actually running.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. That's very cool. I mean, again, get with the times, and it seems like one of those things where these multi-purpose tablets are what are running, again, all this stuff. The way of the Switch is getting old. I mean,
Yeah, it is. And it's also a little bit, like, this sounds crazy, but it's a little bit hazardous to have physical
believe it.
switches.
yeah.
Especially all these, like, especially the Toyota ones or, like, the factory replacement ones.
Okay.
I've seen some of those melt, man. I
Really?
haven't seen them burn down a vehicle or catch a vehicle on fire, but I've seen them melt
That's crazy.
because people run too much power through them,
Oh, yeah.
or they short out internally, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and it's just sketchy, man. And going back to pricing, we're all driving $40,000+ trucks, man.
Yeah,
Like, and
exactly.
by the time they're built, some of them are way more than that.
For sure.
And is it really worth saving a few bucks? Like,
Yeah.
I would charge, and I've told people this. People ask, "Oh, well, how much would you charge me just install these switches with relays?"
Yeah.
Literally the same as the Switch Pros.
Gotcha.
It's going to cost you $800.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's for me to do it because of the labor, the time it takes.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me 2 hours to install a Switch Pros at max, hooking up your existing harnesses.
Yeah.
Like, it takes me 45 minutes or half an hour to just bolt it in and hook it up, and you're ready to roll. Install the stuff, like install all your other harnesses.
I mean, it's a very straightforward system that you offer, and especially with the tray and all that stuff. I mean, it's a matter of just going to the point of location, clearing out everything that's there, and bolting her in.
Yeah, and all those actually just bolt right in.
That's awesome.
Like,
very cool.
it uses so they don't work with the manuals. You got to relocate your clutch fluid reservoir for that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it bolts up to where the manual reservoir bolts up on the fender. So it's that's for the Garmin setup and for the Switch Pro setup on the Tacomas.
Nice.
So it's 2nd and 3rd gen Tacoma, 4th and 5th gen 4Runner.
Very cool. Awesome.
So it's all the way back from 2002 until essentially current. The 2024 runners have like fuses right there, or relays right there. But I've looked at the bracket. You can definitely like bend the one tab out of the way, because Toyota has a thing where they'll use one bolt and like a 90-degree tab in another hole. Like, they don't use a second bolt. And so you can just bend or cut that tab off and then essentially put these brackets on top of those relays.
Very cool.
It all mounts together.
Nice.
But so yeah, dude, we didn't finish up the questions here. What type of off-roading you into, man?
So again, it's all different depending on vehicle. I mean, I can't say I have a favorite type of off-roading.
Okay.
I love taking the Raptor out and just ripping, kind of going on that high-speed off-roading option. Definitely, it probably is my favorite as well. That crowd is just great too. I mean, it's just laid back. You're having a good time. That's a great form. But I also can appreciate, taking the Jeep out on some of these, really rocky, hard rock crawling courses. But for the most part, is it my style necessarily? No, but do I enjoy it? Yeah, I mean, it's a great time. But then, and then there's the other side of it where you got the overlanding aspect. And, it's one of those things where people talk a lot of crap about overlanders, this and that. Like, oh, you spend, $60,000 on these trucks that you basically drive to the mall and back. But it's like, if you get out once in a while during the year, that's still great. I mean, cool. You got out, you experienced it. And, there's so much hate in the community. And it's one of those things where it's like,
dude, it's real.
It seriously is. I mean, think about all the people who got mad at me for buying a Jeep. And I'm like, listen, I still have my Toyota. Like, nothing wrong with that. But I can appreciate every form of off-roading in its own way. And I mean, yeah, there are just days where you don't want to go full speed. It's nice just to get out, get on a dirt road, and chill.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's other days too where you can want to go have fun, you want to go rip. I mean, look at you guys doing the Pony Express last year, and you
That's
guys
high speed.
Yeah,
That's fun.
But you got a lot of everything. I mean, there was times where you guys were crawling in the snow, getting stuck.
Oh, jeez.
Just speeding along,
That
racing
was-
UPS trucks. I mean,
Dude, we were all like groggy. It was like early in the morning still. We had made breakfast and like pull out on the road, and all of a sudden, dude, it's actually hilarious how it happened for me. We all had radios. Sammy didn't say anything. Sammy was just gone in Sean's cloud of dust. And so I see Sean, and all of a sudden, like, I'm looking in my mirror, and there's this like thing floating above him. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, Sean, what is behind you right now? I was like, what is that? And he was kicking up so much dust. You know, we're going 45 miles an hour in Nevada.
Yeah.
It's like dust day. It is bad. And so he's driving, and it's just like, what is behind you right now, dude? There's something behind you. He's like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, oh, man. That was me and my buddy Patter sitting in my truck. We're kind of freaking out. We're like, what is going on right now? What is this? It looked like this thing floating over his truck. And, like, it's morning time, right? We didn't think it's aliens or anything crazy.
Yeah.
But we're just like, what? Trying to figure this out. And it, like, comes up next to him. And I still can't see what it is because of my dust now. My dust is hood height.
Yep.
On them.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, or like mid windshield height on them. And so it like overtakes him, and all of a sudden he disappears. I'm like, Sean, on the radio, like, what is that? He's like, oh, that's UPS. And we're like, what? You've got to be kidding me. It was a UPS. Keep in mind, we were like a solid 14 hours or so from Salt Lake City off road.
Yeah.
Like, we were, I don't know, we were in the middle of nowhere. There was zero. We walked around that previous night by the starlight. There was no light pollution. We were truly middle of nowhere.
Well, people got to get their packages.
Dude. Yeah, well, at the end of the trip, we stopped by in Utah at one of Sean's buddies' houses, and he said that, so he, I guess, he used to work for FedEx, and if you want to ship a package, they have to deliver it.
Really?
Like, company policy is if there is a legal address, they have to find a way to deliver the package.
That's crazy. Huh.
He used to drive like 2 hours one way to drop off one package.
Really? Huh. That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's your answer. But yeah, pretty cool. And again, like back to the whole thing. Lots of different styles of off-roading.
Yeah.
I appreciate them all in their own ways. High speed is definitely my favorite, followed by probably the, camping, adventuring, overland. I mean,
Yeah.
You're getting some rock crawling. You're basically just getting up in the mountains. I mean, I don't know what you want to call that. It's not really rock crawling, but...
Do you have a rooftop tent?
Yep.
Have you used it?
Yeah.
Much?
This one's brand new because I bought it in the winter of last year. So I have not used it yet, and it was on the Jeep, but now I pulled it off. So to answer your question, no, this one has not been used. But it is a brand new roof nest. So it's a Falcon XL, and I'm excited to use it. But have I owned a lot of rooftop tents? Yeah. Have I used them all? Yeah, question mark. I mean, it's one of those things where my job is horribly inconvenient for trying to get out and go camping.
Yeah.
When I do go out and go camping, it's great. It's a great experience. I mean, my CVT, I use that thing a ton of times. Only reason why I ended up selling it is because the FJ didn't fit in the garage with a tent on it.
Yeah.
So it came down to the point where I had to, just based off HOA reasons. So that was why that one got sold. I ended up buying that Pope Overland tent because I was doing that trailer project, and then happened to have a guy come over to buy a different part and bought my trailer the same time. He said he wanted it. So did I use it? No, but I also made a fat profit. So nothing wrong with that. I had my Roam, and that was a great tent. That was an amazing tent. And the only reason why I went and sold that one to get the roof nest is because I wanted a hardtop. So honestly, if this roof nest doesn't, live up to what I want, I'll probably end up going back to a Roam just because it was an amazing tent.
Yeah. Yeah, and Spirit of 1876 sells those too.
Yeah, that's a great shop. They have all those options, and it's just one of those things where, how much money you want to spend?
None.
I know you're not into that style.
I still sleep on the ground.
What is that? What do you mean?
I don't use a tent.
I don't understand. Are all tents on top of vehicles nowadays?
Yeah. No, I don't use a tent at all.
Well, I mean, that's your
Like,
opinion. That's your choice.
I put a sleeping pad on the ground and sleep in my bag on top of it.
Well,
Under the stars.
that's an option. I also had, that off-road
I want
camper.
a teardrop camper.
Well, I had that one. It was great.
That wasn't teardrop. The orange one?
Yeah, okay, but it was a cheap version
Yeah.
of a. Talk about.
I rented one like that, remember?
Yeah.
It was super nice.
But
actually, it was shortly after I rented it that you're like, I'm going to buy one. And you went and bought one.
I was already looking at buying one first off.
Okay.
But no.
It was so cool.
Those are great options. That style between the Sunray Sport is what I had. And for the price point, dude, you can't beat it. I mean, those things hover right around the $10,000 to $15,000 price range. You're getting a full kitchen. You are getting full size. Basically, it's a full size bed in there, but you're getting a full bed, AC, heat, and I mean, realistically, most of the people who buy teardrops, they never take them on a trail. So I mean,
I'm gonna destroy mine.
That's you, but like just realistically, I mean, man, I paid whatever I paid for it, but. I mean, again, for that $10,000 to $15,000 price range, you can get these things used for even less.
Did you forget how much you paid, or are you just not proud of it?
No, I'm extremely proud of it, but it's one of those things where I don't want to let people know what I paid compared to what they're going to pay. I got a great deal. Let's put it that way.
That's good.
But no, I mean, that's a fantastic camper. Yours was a Jayco, correct?
Yeah, that's the one we rented.
And those are a little bit more pricey, a little better quality, but it's one of those things where, again, you're getting the same style of trailer for, sub $20K.
Yeah. It's like a mass manufactured teardrop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all those companies who make like crappy big campers.
And they make a crappy teardrop. And it has a great price tag though.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where
it's not that it's crappy. It's just like those thin walls with like, what's that wrinkled metal
it
called?
Is. Well, mine had plastic panels on the sides. So
did
it
it?
was the
So
Sunray is not metal. I don't think the Jayco is either.
The Jayco was metal siding.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's your price difference. But no, for the average weekend off-roader, great camper.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down now to whether you're going to want to spend $3,000 to $4,000 on a rooftop tent versus finding a smaller, cheaper off-road camper. I mean, I know it really technically wasn't a teardrop because it was not even a solid frame, but it's one of those things where it handled everything I threw at it. It's a great little camper.
Yeah, I have the CAD files. I'm designing my own. I'm just gonna build my own.
Yeah, why not?
Because you can probably see it from where you're at, all that Milwaukee pack out stuff.
Yeah.
For my wiring and electrical, I'm designing the front to have a full pass through with
That'd
a
be great.
slide.
Yeah.
It'll slide either way.
Nice.
And so I'll basically just have all that stuff in there.
For sure.
And so,
which will be a great YouTube series when Blaze Off Road decides to go ahead and build their little teardrop camper.
yeah, no, it'll be great. I'm gonna build a teardrop very, very, very specific to my needs.
Nice. Very cool.
So, and it's going to have my 4th Garmin power switch in it.
Very cool.
So I can control everything on the trailer from my truck.
That'll be great.
And so like I can do a scene lighting button, right?
Nice.
So I'll
Very
have
cool.
rock lights along the roof of the truck and the trailer.
Yeah.
And so I can just press a button and
Sweet.
it'll turn on all of the scene lighting for
That'll
the
be
truck
sweet.
and trailer
Very
and
cool.
everything. Same with rock lights. Rock lights underneath the trailer will turn on when the trucks do.
That's going to be cool.
Like,
That'll be killer.
Yeah, so when I unlock the truck or open the door,
Oh, yeah. Everything will light
it'll
up.
light up underneath the truck
Very
and the
cool.
trailer. So
Well, I'm excited to see this, and I'm sure everybody else will be too as well. So you better get on that soon.
yeah,
Not like you don't have enough going on already.
yeah,
so.
no joke. That's gonna be. I'm moving in June, so when I get to the house,
Yeah, definitely.
So for your vehicles, what's the favorite like big ticket item that you've ever bought?
Man, it's hard just because there's so many different realms to talk about. I mean, for the FJ, I love my Raptor liner on the exterior.
Really? That okay?
It's one of those things. I know it's hit or miss. People say bed liner has problems, whatever. But it's, I mean, for the durability wise, all that kind of stuff, it is a great product. I love the look. I love the appearance.
Yeah.
And like I said, the durability is insane. I mean, I've dumped that thing into trees, and it holds up great. And one of my main reasons for installing that here on the FJ, here especially in Colorado,
Pinstriping.
besides the pinstriping, is the hail. So technically,
Oh.
bed liner at whatever their millimeter thick, whatever it is, supposedly can handle quarter size hail without an issue, and possibly even bigger hail, which is one of those things where we get daily hailstorms here. So
What?
well, in Colorado Springs, we get daily hailstorms.
Well, now I know where I'm not moving.
Do not move down there if you want to care about not getting hailed on. But
What about up in Loveland?
I have no idea on Loveland. I want to say Fort Collins and Loveland have more tame weather. Colorado Springs
I hear
gets
their
some,
winter sucks.
I love winter, so sign me up.
They have feet of snow right now piled up in their driveways, like next to their driveways. They're so like loaded with snow that hasn't melted off. It's ridiculous.
I believe it. I believe it. But
Yeah.
other than that, I would say definitely Alma long travel suspension. Whether for the Raptor, for the FJ, any of that stuff. I mean, technically the Jeep's a mid-arm suspension, so it's kind of longer travel. But just the performance gains you get from modifying your suspension is amazing to me. I mean, it's definitely been
That's great.
Yeah, for every vehicle, it's always one of my first things I end up doing. And you can't skip out on suspension. I mean, realistically, a lot of the people who go out and just buy spacerless, for example, you're gaining nothing. I mean, it's one of those things.
There's an argument to be made for guys who want to run spacers.
You're gaining a bigger tire size.
Yes, and if you're someone that just wants to go hiking and mountain biking and stuff,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
that's the argument to be made for
Exactly.
that stuff.
And again, like I said, I respect it all. There's no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're doing, then great. Go for it. Why not? Spend a couple $100 and now you've got another couple size tires or whatever sizes up
Yep.
installed, which is no problem. So, yeah, I mean, again, we can get in a whole other argument on that one about how much should you spend on suspension. But,
All of it.
well, I mean, if you have all of it. But, yeah, I mean, that goes either way as well. So,
Yeah. Cool. So your favorite big ticket item is your Raptor liner, but suspension is what you think is the best big ticket item.
it kind of, I guess,
Yeah.
big ticket item though. The Raptor liner didn't cost that much, so it doesn't really work that well, especially when you do it yourself. It's one of those things where, for me personally doing it, I was basically going to do that professionally for a little while, installing bed liners on vehicles because you spray that out and all that, and it's a process.
You want to do mine?
We could do yours. It wouldn't
I
take
need
too
to
long.
do it.
We could knock it out in a weekend.
I need to do it.
It'd be pretty impressive. It would look good. We could spray it out nice and basically a thin coat, which if you guys want to know more about Raptor liner, go ahead and look at my YouTube. I have a whole video talking about the product, the installation, all that kind of stuff. So we won't bore you with that today, but
What's the YouTube channel, buddy?
it's going to be at Brody Built. So
At Brody Built on YouTube. Learn
Yep.
how to do Raptor liners.
yep, go ahead and look it out. It'll be me doing the FJ. We did it in the garage. So it's one of those things where you can do it in your front yard as we did the Filthy 4Runner, which is also a guy up here in Boulder who owns that. And we did that in his front yard when it was raining, and it actually held up pretty well. So surprisingly, it's a great product.
What didn't hold up well is the spray foam that you guys bedlined.
You know, that was not me. I was there solely to bedline. The wood saw that was being used to mold and shape foam was not my choice.
Yeah.
And Justin will hate on it, but you know what? It's whatever.
It's all right.
But no, there's a lot of great products. I mean, you
Well,
can
now
even
it's
go.
a filing cabinet, so.
Yeah, exactly. It looks pretty insane. I mean, I'll give him that. I mean, it's crazy. I'm excited to see it done. And I mean, shit. Well, I mean, Justin and I haven't off-roaded together in, I want to say like 4 years, 5 years.
To be fair, the truck has only ran 5 times in the past 5 years. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, but he's been changing and
I know.
modifying.
He builds
he's built
it, and then he's
4
like, "No,
long
this
travel
isn't
kits
enough."
in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, he builds it, and he's like, this isn't enough.
It's impressive. There's
Yeah.
a reason why he has 30,000+ followers on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great build. I mean, everyone keeps pushing him to like push a YouTube, and he just literally says he's like, if I'm gonna be doing something, I don't want to have to deal with recording. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No,
I mean,
that's me, though.
it is a commitment.
Dude,
If you want to actually do installs, it's gonna double your install time just to record, just to talk it out.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you want to make a quality video, that is.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't care,
And then you got to go edit it for hours.
exactly. I mean, it's a process. Like, there's a
Yeah.
reason why, like, I've taken large, I guess, breaks in my YouTube. It's just, it's hard when you have a full-time job and try and do this and that and whatever. But
Dude, it's not easy.
exactly. But back to your question, there's a lot of great big ticket items I have, and it's hard to choose just one.
So, getting into outdoor products and gear.
Yep.
What's one product that you couldn't live without for camping, outdoorsy stuff, whatever it is?
I mean, I'm a pretty simple camper, man. I mean, I literally just load up the Yeti and go out for a couple days and go back home. I'm not one of those guys who sets up camp and what's that? Scuttles? What are those things? Scottle.
I have one.
I know. I'm jealous. It looks
love
cool.
it.
But I mean,
only bought it for Pony Express.
I bought a Blackstone to bring on the trail, and
Yeah.
I've never put that in my vehicle. It
It's
sits
big.
on my back patio. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things. Am I getting more into trying to do longer camping trips? Yeah. So that's why kind of the whole process now is I'm going to be building the dual battery kit and trying to do the you're going to hate me. I'm doing the cheaper option on a lot of my more budget friendly. Let's put it that way. Let's do budget friendly.
El Chineso.
Not necessarily. Some things are El Chinese.
What's budget friendly? What are you talking about?
Man, aux beams might be coming to the channel. We don't need to talk about that.
Lights or
The
Switch?
Switch Pros.
It's not Switch Bros.
It's a Switch basic thing. Well, okay, again,
It's gonna catch on fire.
my whole thing is I want to see what the options are. And my whole point with a lot of the stuff I end up doing is like, what can you get away with at a cheaper price? I'm all about a deal, as I said. So
Garmin.
I agree. And the Garmin is definitely the option I'm going to end up going with. The aux beam is just going to be the temporary solution to kind of get to where I want to be.
Isn't it like $200?
No, they're like 140.
Yeah, it's too much.
But, dude, for a full switch setup,
Do mechanical switches.
I have mechanical switches.
Then don't get rid of them yet.
Well, we'll see. We shall see. If I can get a deal on a little Garmin, maybe I'll just go ahead and do that and then just return this aux beam. But
Nobody gets deals on Garmin.
well, I mean, I know that, but it's
it's not an easy. Garmin's a massive company.
we'll see. There's a Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
But no, I
Um,
mean, it's definitely camping products that I don't know, man. I as I said, bust out the rooftop tent. It's already on the car. Unfold it. Got the Yeti out there. Got some camping chairs. Got some nice Arabic camping chairs. They're very comfortable.
Oh yeah, they are.
But other than that, start a fire and just hang out. That's basically it. I mean, what do you bring? What is your favorite camping item?
The Scottle.
Okay, they are pretty cool.
I love to cook.
Okay, well, that's true. That makes a lot of sense.
I love to cook. You see my Instagram, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's full of food.
Cooking constantly.
True. Nothing wrong with that at all.
And when I go camping, I make even better food.
Okay, but everything tastes better camping.
Well, when I'm doing loaded steak fries with, New York strip sliced up, and yeah, I do, when I do steak fajitas or elk burgers or
So when am I getting invited to the next camping trip?
when I go on one. Dude, I haven't been camping in almost since Pony Express last year, I think I went on one camping trip in spring of last year. I don't think I went on one fall at all. I'll have to ask Anthony. Junior used to be Duramax. I forgot what it is now. Junior builds.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him when that trip was, or see if I can find it in
Gotcha.
photos. But I went with him and Yoda, or now Eurofool, and
Yeah.
Clear Vision, Overlanding, and
Yep.
a bunch of guys. I just showed up basically.
Nice.
But no, I still had Tacoma, so that was in spring of last year. The last time I went camping, dude.
Nice.
It's been a while.
You need to get out. We'll have to go
It's a
together.
good thing I don't have a rooftop tent. Then I would really be faking it.
I mean, you know what? Fake it till you make it, right? Got to look extra.
It's a good thing I sleep on the ground because
I'm a glamper. I'll
because
make
I
it.
haven't even been in a year.
I mean, heck,
There's a lot of room to talk, huh?
you know what? Spend $4,000 on a tent. Use it once. That's my motto. Screw
Yeah,
it. Let's
hey,
do
you
it.
know
Let's
what?
go.
What's the other one? Buy a truck to do man things.
Exactly. Do it. It's all good.
Just drive. Do you feel like you've ever wasted money on a piece of gear?
Oh, 100%.
Like what? What's a product that you're like, this is useless?
Okay, so my issue is I don't really say they're useless. I end up buying things and then I'll have it and then I never use it and then I just end up selling it again. I mean, for example, I've spent a lot of money on rooftop tents. Have I made money back out of them? Yeah, because I always buy them used. So it's like, why not? Things that I have never used though.
Well, something that you're just like,
Max
this
Tracks.
was a waste of money. You wish you wouldn't have spent it. Like, it's not worth the money.
Max Tracks.
Really?
Oh, dude, I've never used them.
Dude, I've used my action tracks 24 times.
That's impressive because When I get stuck, I don't really think of like, oh yeah, I'll pull the max tracks out. Like
That's the first thing I think.
I
Because
just
I'm
kinda,
like, I don't want to undo my winch. I don't want to get a rope out. I don't want to do anything. Just throw them things under the top. I have action tracks. I sold my max tracks. And I'm just like, okay, I just want to use these guys.
I mean, again, they're very purpose built. I mean, I've seen people use them, and technically, I've used other people's. But I don't know. I've just never have taken them off the side of the FJ.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's nothing wrong with them. I just haven't used them.
Yeah.
So I would say probably that. Probably gonna be this ARB fridge I end up buying here soon because I'll probably just never use it.
Oh, I know somebody with one for sale.
Well, then you need to let me know because.
No, like right now you can go buy it.
Well, we'll have to talk about that after this because I might be interested.
Okay.
So.
And I have a slide.
Do you really?
I have a very, very nice slide that's never been used or installed that I want to sell.
Sweet. Well, cool.
It's
Sounds like we're making some deals this afternoon.
From Timbo Tusk. It is super solid.
So that's going to be the one thing that I wish I never would have bought. So there you guys go.
What?
The slide. Yeah, it's going to be the slide.
They're actually really nice in SUVs. I just don't really see a point in a truck.
Oh, no, I agree. It's definitely, I mean, you get those Raptor builds that people put the bed rack on and all that. I mean, I may have been that guy.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm going to build it like, what's his name? Lawn Dart Designs.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm copying your bed setup, bud.
Well, he's got a nice setup. He's got a really nice Raptor. So
his setup is dialed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. He said he'll get rid of that thing if when the Ranger Raptor comes out, he'll consider it.
Really?
Yeah, he wants a smaller truck.
I would just rather buy a Ranger and then end up doing it like Funhaver.
Kibby Tech.
It's definitely the way to go.
I have their hat on.
Exactly. That's what made me think of it. Best part about it, I think that's one of my favorite trucks out on the market.
The Funhaver.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dude, that thing is gnarly.
Dude, all their trucks are great. I mean, their
That's
Bronco
true.
is even pretty good.
Kibby Tech?
No, Funhaver.
Oh, Funhaver.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I use really everything.
That was a hard one for me.
It's
There's not much that I know that I've wasted money on.
See, that's why I like used. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to the used, and the used market's always great. I mean, you're getting stuff at half price. So it's like, even if you don't end up using it, you're not losing money.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my whole thinking of it. Again, I love deals. So it's one of those things where if you're not sure about what you want, try to find it used. And if it's a comparable price, if it's half, whatever it could be, I think it's definitely the way to go. Because then you never really feel as guilty.
True. Do you have a product under $100 that you're like, this is my favorite thing?
Under $100.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
What about under 25?
That's a hard question. You put me on the spot with that one.
So for me, under 25 would be a solid headlamp. Streamlight makes them really good. It's called the Bandit Pro.
You're talking interior headlamps, correct?
For your head.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. So this is all outdoor and camping gear. This is gun gear, like anything.
Gotcha.
And so for me, under 25 is definitely a solid headlamp.
Gotcha. Well, if we're talking like gear like that, I mean, for $100, a standard mechanic tool chest, man. I mean, anything you can think of that you can throw in the back of the truck. I'm a Craftsman guy, so like I have a red Craftsman tool chest, small little folding box. It's probably 50, whatever, 100 piece, whatever. I don't know what it is. Dude, that thing is the best lifestyle. It has everything you need.
Yeah.
I mean, those people who run around, do trails and all that stuff who don't have tools, like, what are you thinking? It's definitely risky. For $25 though, man, I don't know. I mean, you can't beat a good cheap knife. I mean, I always carry a little Kershaw or Gerber with me, and it's very functional, but
yeah, I
don't know. It's hard to think for 25. I would say like a Mob Armor mount, but they're like 65 now. So I don't know. That's a hard question. I'll have to come back to that one if we ever get time.
Yeah. I have enough tools that I bring with me on every off-roading trip.
Yeah.
I'm confident we could drop a transmission if we ever needed to.
Oh, I believe that.
Like,
I've seen the stuff you carry. I'm like, oh my God.
Like we're jacking up the rear end, pulling axles and pulling a diff out if we need to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I bring it all.
Well, I saw you had a Rome box, didn't you, in the back of the Tacoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was packed with tools,
Yeah.
parts. You had CVs, you had everything in there.
Yeah, the CVX would sit in front of the box.
Yep.
I also had that case with all the fluids. So
That's
I had a
right.
gallon of oil, a gallon of coolant, 3 quarts of tranny fluid, quart of power steering.
Yeah.
Or no, it was all tranny fluid and then a little thing of brake fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had diff fluid in there too.
That's good. I mean, you're prepared. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. Artec Off-Road makes that little, ARTEC?
Yeah,
Artec
that's a
Off-Road.
great little carrier.
Yeah. They don't make that one anymore.
Oh, really?
No, they make other ones.
I know they make it's like the
6 quart.
Yep,
individual
exactly.
Quart. I'm gonna run that in the F-150. So, what's your dream trip?
Dream trip.
Yeah, like you can take as much time off as you want. Like, where would you go?
Are we talking in the country? Are we talking out going anywhere flying?
Take your vehicle.
Honestly, I think a great trip.
Even if you had to ship your vehicle.
Well, that changes everything. But I think a great trip would have been the one we talked about already, doing the Alaskan Highway.
Dalton Highway.
Dalton Highway.
Up in Alaska.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
I still want to do that. I
I
still
think-
plan on doing that.
Yeah, I think that would be an amazing trip. I mean, the scenery, just the environment, I think that would be an amazing journey.
Yeah.
Another one, more realistic, is basically what I'm trying to build. Basically, what I was building the Jeep for, I want to do a full national park tour. Basically,
Yeah.
just start and just go. And it's one of those things where I've been to, a dozen so far, but it's one of those things where I've never even been to Yellowstone. So I'd like to just start and just basically just go. If I could take 2 months and just drive around the whole country, but it's kind of hard with work and all that stuff, but
I wanted to take like a 6-month trip
that'd be awesome.
doing every national park. So spend days
Exactly. Yeah.
at each one.
I mean, you
weeks.
can't go for just a day. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
getting the full experience. So I get it. I totally get it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe someday. Hopefully soon.
Yep. So that's about it, man.
Cool.
That wraps up what all we
Awesome.
were gonna cover today. So once again, guys, you can reach old Brody Love here at Brody Built on both Instagram and YouTube.
Yep.
Eventually he'll be super active on his YouTube again.
It's coming right now. Got plenty of videos ready to go. Just waiting to post them. So
Yeah. Well, you should just go ahead and post them then.
I'm trying to stick to a schedule. We're gonna try to do one a week and basically see how long it lasts. So
Yep. No, trust me, I understand the content creation is not an easy thing to do.
Yep.
So,
but it will be coming. So
but
yeah, I appreciate you having me on today, and
yeah,
it's
for
been
sure.
fun.
Man.
Been great.
We'll have to actually go camping sometime.
Yeah, I'm down. So cool. Look forward to it. And again, thank you for talking. It's been fun.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, man. All right, guys. So that's it for this week's podcast. As always, you can find us at Blaze Your Trail Podcast on Instagram. Hit up blazeoffroad.com/blazeyourtrail, or maybe it's /podcast. I don't remember, but it's on blazeoffroad.com. And then the podcast will be on Spotify and YouTube. We're still fighting with Apple Music to get everything straight there, but we'll eventually have all the episodes there. So that's it for this week. Thanks for listening.